Hi, everyone. I'm here to answer a very important question, and that is the snooze button making things worse? I have had this question again and again, and I feel this is just an important topic because we just got to address it. So, whether you're a mom who you find yourself hitting the snooze button multiple times when you wake up in the morning and just really, really pushing that extra sleep till the very last moment, or maybe you have a teenager who is hitting snooze nonstop because they just really are having such a hard time getting out of bed. Or like one person I saw recently, and really, really, really well intentioned, had set 6 alarms. Okay. This person was supposed to wake up at about 7 a.m. Okay. And so had set an alarm for, I think, 5 5:30, 6, 6:15, 6:30, 7, and then I think 7:05. Insane. And what was the hope? The hope was that eventually they would be able to realize it was time for them to get up and, get out of bed and start their day. Okay, so here is the answer. No, you should not keep hitting snooze. Yes, hitting the snooze button, especially hitting it multiple times, is definitely making your sleep worse and can actually affect your day. So here's why. There are many reasons, okay? But first, for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. I am a sleep medicine physician, the founder of Restful Sleep MD and the Restful Sleep Plays, and also the author of a new book called Beyond Tired, a sleep physician's guide to helping you solving your child's sleep struggles for good. So get that book, it's on Amazon. Back to what we're talking about. So if you have a child or you yourself are finding out you're hitting the snooze button a lot of times, there are many reasons why it's making your sleep worse. Number one is that you are really negatively affecting your sleep quality. So the way that happens is that we go through sleep cycles, right? You go through light sleep, deep sleep, and then REM sleep, and then maybe you'll wake up very, very briefly and continue sleeping. Now, when you hit the snooze button, you're definitely interrupting yourself through a sleep cycle, right? When the alarm goes off, you hit snooze, you're interrupting a sleep cycle. We don't know what sleep stage you're in at that time. It may be deep sleep, it may be REM sleep, it may be light sleep. We don't know. When you go back into sleep, you're going to try to sort of resume sleep at whatever that sleep cycle is. But you can imagine now you're losing the benefit of being in one continuous full cycle because of those interruptions. And what that will do is that will really, really shut down your sleep quality. And it's going to make it even easier for you to feel tired during the day. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it actually worsens what we call sleep inertia. And what is sleep inertia? Sleep inertia is that feeling of extreme tiredness and fogginess and lack of motivation that you have when you first wake up and you're kind of just out of it. And then after a few moments, you start to feel better. Now, if you keep hitting snooze, it's like you're repeatedly perpetuating that sleep inertia such that when you eventually wake up for the day, you're just really out of it. And this probably has to do with the fact that your sleep cycles have just been interrupted so much because of the snooze button. And then number three is that there's a level of increase in mild stress that happens. So think about it. You're sleeping and then the alarm goes off and then you hit snooze. And now in between that snooze period, you're anticipating subconsciously, you're anticipating that alarm again, right? So even when you go back to sleep, you may not necessarily have a very restful sleep because you're sort of expecting the next alarm to ring. So, in and of itself, that causes stress. And you can only imagine that if you are stressed, you're not going to necessarily have restful sleep in between that snooze period anyway. So, again, another reason to probably stop hitting snooze. Number four is that it disrupts your routine, hitting the snooze multiple times, depending if you're like my friend who had like almost 7 alarms set and had hit the snooze multiple times, you're disrupting your routine because now we don't know when you're supposed to wake up. So we talk a lot about the importance of having routines, the importance of having healthy sleep schedules and very well set sleep schedule, a set wake up time, a set bedtime. So when you're hitting snooze You might wake up at 5:30, you might wake up at 6:30. It's kind of all over the place. And the way you start your day really can set the tone for the kind of day you have. So if you have a day where it's kind of all over the place, then that might actually impact your day a lot. So that's another reason why you might want to say, I think I'm going to refrain from hitting snooze. And then number five, like it's very obvious, but your sleep quality when you hit snooze multiple times is not the same as if you had continuous sleep. So every time you're sleeping, right, the alarm goes off, you hit snooze, you're disrupting your sleep quality because again, you're fragmenting that sleep cycle, you're not getting a complete sleep cycle. And that's something that can absolutely make your sleep quality really, really poor compared to, you can imagine if you had continuous sleep from 5:30 to 6:30 versus this multiple interrupted periods of sleep. That's just really not the same. So don't hit snooze. That's just the bottom line. Refrain from hitting snooze. What should you do instead? On here, I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, and definitely provide you with practical strategies that you can use to actually improve all of that. So, the first thing I would say is first, set your alarm for when you absolutely have to wake up. Now, this may have to do with it may involve a lot of things. It may involve now setting boundaries like when do I absolutely have to go to sleep? So now you have to kind of work your way backwards to say I'm going to absolutely have to wake up at 6:30 a.m. What does that mean for bedtime? So that means I absolutely have to go to bed at X time, right? 10:30 or 10, whatever. And now you're going to have to stick to that routine because you want to make sure you get enough sleep so that you're not tempted to keep hitting snooze. So set the alarm for when you absolutely have to wake up. For my teenagers, this is what I usually will recommend. Plan ahead of time. So if you know that, okay, I have to get out of the house at a certain time and I tend to want to hit snooze. So instead of hitting snooze, I'm going to wake up at when I absolutely have to get up. That means I need to plan my day the night before. So I have my bag packed, I have my clothes out, I have my lunch ready. And so this way you're limiting those extra steps and you're putting it back into your sleep period. You're investing it into your sleep period, which is a win-win-win for you. So refrain from hitting snooze. Wake up when you absolutely have to. Set your alarm for when you absolutely have to get up. The second thing I would say is put the alarm further away from you. Don't keep the alarm too close to you because if you have the alarm at arm's length when you could just hit the snooze button, that's not going to do you good. Instead, this is what I recommend. Put the alarm clock somewhere further out. So you have to get up, get out of bed, and go turn it off. So if you're doing that, the likelihood you're going to hit snooze and come back to bed is lower. Hopefully, one would hope. But that's definitely something that I think would help you. And then number three, I would say is you want to expose yourself to as much bright light as possible. This is so important because light is the strongest cue for our circadian rhythm, that internal clock that really helps you to know when to be alert, when to sleep. And so when you expose yourself to bright light, yeah, you keep the windows right open once you wake up, you turn the lights on. Sometimes you might actually consider investing in what we call a sunrise alarm. So these alarms literally, as they go off, they start to shine a lot of light, right? So that mimics sunlight, and that might help you with being more alert. So you're less likely to hit snooze, you're less likely to feel so groggy. And then the final thing I would say is just be intentional about that, your sleep schedule. Be intentional about maintaining a consistent wake up time, a consistent sleep time. And when you do that, you know this is when you wake up. You know this is what you need to do in terms of getting ready for bed. You know these are the next steps you do on your morning routine. It's less likely that you're going to be hitting snooze and then have a schedule that is kind of all over the place. So we've shined light on quite a few things. Do not hit snooze and why, as well as the strategies that you can use to improve your sleep so that you refrain from hitting snooze. Now, if you've done all that and you're like, I'm still tired, I feel like I need to hit snooze, I feel, tired, I feel unrefreshed, despite getting a fair number of hours of sleep, that might be a clue that you do need to get checked out. That might be a clue that you need to have a conversation with your doctor to consider further evaluation of your sleep. You may need a sleep test, you may need a sleep study, and that's really the signal. So if you're out there and you're like, well, I don't know what the next steps are, I do know what the next steps are. The next steps are you could grab a copy of our book, Beyond Tired, a sleep physician's guide to solving your child's sleep troubles for good. And you can start reading it, and it's really going to shed light onto your sleep as well as your child's sleep. You can grab a copy from Amazon. And if you're located in Pennsylvania or in New Jersey, we are more than happy to see you at the Restful Sleep Place. You could check out our website at restfulsleepmd.com or therestfulsleepplace.com. And then let me know, do you hit snooze? Are you making any changes based on what you've learned today? And if so, I absolutely want to know in the comments. And I hope that until next time, you rest well.